Welcome, Lee here from Play Guitar Academy. Today is the fourth video in my blues mastery series with the 5 classic blues licks to play like a legend. Licks are the building blocks of every great solo, and today I teach you 5 classic licks that are inspired by legendary players like B.B. King, Albert King, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. But before we get started, make sure, don't forget, grab my free email course. It's called Blues Solo Breakthrough. It's 6 steps to confident killer solos. It's packed with tips and strategies to help you play with confidence, make every note count. What makes classic licks so valuable? Well, number one, they connect you to the roots of the style of music that you're playing. In this instance, blues. They teach you phrasing. They teach you timing. They teach you dynamics. These are the sounds that work, and they're adaptable. You can use them as they are. You can mess with them, tweak with them, make them your own. So let's go ahead and break down each lick step by step. We're in pattern 2 of the B minor blues scale up here in the, what a lot of people call the pattern 1 extension, the top 2 strings of pattern 2. And we're starting off with the root note, right? The 12th fret. And we're going to be working our way up the pattern. So we start with the root, then we go to the next note of the minor pentatonic scale. This is the D, so this is the minor third. Now we hit something called the major third, right? This shouldn't be here. This is an idea I got right from B.B. King. That note should not be there. This is a major third. But what it's doing, it's setting up the 4th and the 5th. It's a connecting note. It's played on more of a weak beat. It's not on the strong beat. But it's giving that sound of chromatic notes moving up because you're trying to get root, minor third, major third, 4th, sharp 4, 5th. This is where we're going with this bend here. So this is what makes it very B.B. King. So we have note, 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 bend, half step bend. And then we're going to bend again, but this time a full step bend. So you want it to sound like the F sharp. This has already been up, so this is a pre-bend release. We go back to the 10, the D, and then a little vibrato, B.B. King vibrato on the B note to end it off. So next in lick number 2, we're taking a look at Albert King, the style that he plays in. This is in the key of D. You can play this over a D vamp or a D7 blues. And we're going to start here up at the 15th fret. This is also in pattern 2 of the D minor pentatonic. We're going to do a full bend from 15 up to a 17, up to the A. So this is going to go from the 4th up to the 5th. Now we're going to take our first finger, and this is going to go on the 13th fret. And this is the minor third, and we're going to give that quarter step bend. This is a bend not all the way up to the major third, just a little bit right before you get there, just a slight bend, and it's a very bluesy sound. So that sound of a full bend with a quarter step bend and some serious vibrato after that. That is a complete Albert King style. Then he sets it off by playing the root note again and then going back to the minor third with vibrato. Play these bends with a lot of attack, and these bends like the full step bend followed by the quarter step bend to the root. This is something that you hear from a lot of famous guitar players, and the next one is going to be no exception. Okay, let's take a look at lick number 3. This is a Stevie Ray Vaughan style lick. These blues licks are very important. I use each one of these in my own playing in different ways. It's in the key of E, and we're going to take the 14th fret full bend. That's going to make it sound like it's the note on the 12th fret of the next string. And we're going to play that 12 and then 12 on the high E string. These are triplets. Now we're going to go to the 9th. Now this is something that you don't hear a whole lot of in most blues players. Going to the 9th, but especially on a turnaround, Stevie Ray Vaughan would use this a lot. And watch what he does. He goes up to the 14th fret, then he goes to the 13th fret. So then that's a flat 9, then to the root. But then he trills off of the root and the 13th fret. Let me play it to you all together. start to sound familiar. Not exactly like he does, but just like this. Now he finishes this off with the minor pentatonic. 15th fret, that's the flat 7th, to the 5th on the 12th, to the 4th on the 14th fret, and to the minor 3rd on the 12th, and back to the 14th fret. Pretty cool, and that's something I will use all the time. You can use it anywhere, but it sounds great over the 5 chord in a blues. Lick number 4. This is a Freddie King style lick. Freddie King's very interesting the way he plays. He used a thumb pick, and then also I think it was a metal, almost like a one you'd see somebody playing resonator on his first finger. It allowed him to go very quickly in between 2 notes that are on adjacent strings. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to use hybrid picking. So I'm going to pick the 11th fret. This is also in the key of C sharp here. And we're going to go to the 11th fret on the G string, and we're going to bend that up a full step, and that's going to match the 9th fret on the next string, and we're going to give it some vibrato. Next, we're going to do it again and again. That's a big part of Freddie King, the repetitiveness. But as he gets out of it, he starts to do the same thing again, 11 bending up. But this time, instead of going to the 9th fret on the B string, he goes to the 9th fret, the minor 3rd on the G string, and then comes back to the root note with no vibrato this time. Now, the part of this lick that I use the most, it's one that's very similar to what he would do. Take a look at this. 12th fret on the low E string, 2nd finger, and then 1st finger back on the 11th fret on the D string. I like to slide into it too. This is a Freddie King style lick that I use a whole lot as well too. So it sounds almost like if you're going to slightly bend that 12th fret and go down to the low root, but this one goes up to the high root. And you hear a lot of other guitar players too, but I think this is where it came from. And finally, lick number 5, Eric Clapton lick. This one's going to be the one that's different, the most different from all of the licks that we're doing. Take a look at this. There's not a lot of bending going on. We have a lot of notes here, a lot of 16th notes going on. And what he does with those 16th notes is very interesting. So this is over pattern 1 in the key of C. C minor pentatonic. But we're not starting on the root. We're starting on the 11th fret, the flat 7th on the B string. And we're doing a sequence. That means we're going down the scale and we're jumping notes and then coming back to the next one, kind of stepping down a scale. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to put my pinky on the 11th fret of the B string, then my 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the G string. Those notes in the minor pentatonic, those are 2 apart. So we skip a note. But next we go and hit that note that we skipped and do the same thing to that note. Play it and then two scale notes down from that. So next we do the same thing, but this is at the 10th fret now. We play the 10th fret of the G string and then again skip a note from the pentatonic scale and then play the 10th note from the D string. So far, these first 3. That's a cool sequence. It has movement down the pentatonic scale, but it also doesn't sound so cut and dry. Then we have one of the coolest things here is the minor 3rd to major 3rd to root. This is the 8th fret on the G to the 9th fret on the G to the 10th fret on the D. At this point, we continue down. We have the 8th fret. That's the flat 7th in the key of C. That's our B flat. And then we have 10, 9, 8. This is the blues scale now. So he's adding notes from the minor blues. 5th, sharp 4, and then 4th. And we go down to the minor 3rd with the pinky. But I'm going to go up here to the 6th fret on the A string. That's our minor 3rd to major 3rd, and then down to the root on the 8. Very cool. Now this is 16th notes. It's very fast, but this is a very slow tempo down at 65 beats per minute. So you can get this at a very slow tempo and then speed it up and play it all sorts of different types of songs. I had fun putting together these licks in the style of legendary players. Take them change them up, make them your own. That's what I did. None of these are exactly from them. They're changed a little bit so I could put them into my own playing. They could be in my style too. It's the great way to take all these sounds that you hear and incorporate them in your own playing. Thanks for playing along with me today, and thanks to all the Academy members over at PlayGuitarAcademy.com. They're tearing into the tab, the backing tracks, and the guitar profiles from this lesson right now. And don't forget to grab my free email course. It's called Blues Solo Breakthrough. It's 6 steps to confident killer solos, and it's packed with tips and strategies to help you play with confidence, make every note count. And as always, let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great practice. See you in the next video.